NHL Insider reveals a huge update on the Elias Pettersson contract extension. And is it time for Phil to sign in Vancouver? I'll get into it later on this episode, but before I start, I just want to say to 1,000 of you guys watching that aren't subscribed, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We'll be here all season long giving you updates from all around the Canucks, and we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. If you can help us reach this by Sunday, that'd be outstanding. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is it time to sign Phil Kessel? Now, when you do look at Rick Dolly's tweet, he does say the Canucks will continue to work out Phil Kessel this week as he continues to try and pass checkpoints on and off the ice. This was always going to be a process that takes time. No games for Phil with Abbotsford Canucks this week, but he is continuing to practice with them. Obviously, we've seen Phil sign this partial PTO tryout, whatever it might be, with Abbotsford Canucks. He is currently working out with them. We did see some reports come out that said he didn't look in a game shape. He didn't look great for his first couple of practices, but Phil's a guy that's a warrior. He can get into shape. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be that long until we see a bit of game action from him. Now, when you do look at Phil Kessel's stats, you can see last season in 82 games, he put up 14 goals, 22 assists for the Vegas Golden Knights. He played with Arizona the 3 seasons prior to that. He played with Pittsburgh, which he did win multiple Stanley Cups with. He played with the Leafs. He played with the Bruins. Everyone knows who Phil Kessel is. He's a guy that can put up goals, put up assists. He's obviously not going to be your best defensive player, but he's a guy that's going to be an impact in the locker room, on the ice, offensively, the power play, everything in between. Phil is a guy, and Phil the Thrill is going to put up points for you. Now, this kind of leads into where do I think Phil would fit and why do I think he should be signed soon. So right now on the screen, this is Ilya Mikheyev's stats. In the past 5 games here, he hasn't been outstanding. You see against Chicago, he had a 4-2. When the Canucks won 4-2, he had zeros across the board in 15 minutes. Against Detroit in a 4-1 win, he had -1 with no other stats going across the boards. Against Winnipeg in a 4-2 loss, he put up 1 assist. He had 3 hits, 1 block shot. And you can just see that overall he has not been outstanding. This was a guy that was playing into the top 6. He got demoted down to this 4th line. And we've seen Rick Tocchet kind of come out, talk to the media, and just almost say that this 4th line does not have an identity. Some of the best hockey this 4th line has played is when Höglander was playing on the 4th line. We've seen him get 16 goals in this bottom 6. And I think to really get some talent and to get some more just identity out of this 4th line, this is where Phil would slide into the equation perfectly. I mean, right now, the 4th line, you do have Sam Lafferty and Mikheyev are playing the wings. You do see the 3rd line still intact. Archie Bains was moved up according to Daily Faceoff. So this is a guy that will not slide down into the 4th line. But I think you could slide a guy like Phil Kessel into the 4th line right wing. Get him a bit of power play time. Get him on the 2nd unit. Get him in the locker room. This team is currently on a 3-game slide. Obviously, this is the first time this season that they've done this. So it's nothing to really worry about. But I think getting Phil Kessel into this lineup sooner rather than later might be something the Canucks will and should look at doing. So what are thoughts on this? Do you think Mikheyev is going to be a guy that sticks in this lineup? They're going to ride him out and hope he gets back into what he was, his game form, getting back into the win column, scoring, all this. Do you think he's a guy they're going to use as a trade piece? And do you think it's time for Phil to finally come up? But this gets into the second topic today, which is insider reports a Pettersson deal has been offered. Now, according to Dave Pagnotta of the 4th period, he kind of did a segment today just kind of talking about different things. You see some Natural rumors, Markstrom rumors, Gensel rumors, and just halfway down you can see Canucks a big offer for Pettersson. Now, when you do look at this article, he did speak on Pettersson and the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks and center Elias Pettersson are comfortable waiting for the end of the season to address the superstar status. The 25-year-old is on pace for 2nd consecutive 100-point season and is due for a nice raise. In fact, if he wants to commit to an 8-year extension tomorrow, he can. So this part is big just to kind of look at. According to a well-placed source tied to the club, the Canucks offered Pettersson a long-term deal, believed to be 8 years worth $12 million per season at the beginning of the 2023-24 campaign. That offer has not been rejected. It's there for the taking. Pettersson simply wants to take his time, see how the season plays out, and revisit his future in the summer. Now, obviously, this is big news to see in Elias Pettersson's camp, the Vancouver Canucks, knowing there's a deal on the table, this not being rejected. Is Pettersson worth 12? Yes, I'd most certainly think it. I mean, when you do look at Elias Pettersson, he has almost 2 seasons in a row with 100 points. He's been one of the top players for the Canucks. He's been outstanding this year, and he's helped lead the Canucks into the position they're in now. So the big thing with this is Pettersson waiting to see if he's worth more than 12? Is this something where he truly does not want any distractions? He's using this time to kind of just focus on the season, hopefully win the cup for Vancouver. And you can kind of see here where Dave kind of continues on. This isn't about money. Pettersson's focus on winning. That's why he shut down talks last offseason. He wanted to fully prepare for this season, help the Canucks bring a championship to Vancouver. His patience so far is paying off. The Canucks aren't feeling any heat either. They control his rights as Pettersson can become a restricted free agent July 1st, which they have his arbitration rights. They're also applying any significant pressure. This deal is there for him when he's ready for it. Right now, his priority is elsewhere, and that is winning. Now, that's just outstanding to hear that Pettersson is focusing on the Canucks this season. He's not looking at the money. He's not worried about the contract. He knows the contract's there. Obviously, the Canucks have his rights. This is a guy that they can sign today, tomorrow, in the next 30 seconds. As soon as I post this, which I really hope it doesn't happen, though I do want to see him sign. But Pettersson is waiting, and I think this deal will be done the second either the season concludes, where the Canucks get knocked out of the playoffs, or hopefully when the Canucks hoist the Stanley Cup, he picks up the mic and says, "Hey, Vancouver, get ready for 8 more years." I mean, right now you do look at his contract. With the Canucks right now, he was on a 3-year deal. This is the last year of his deal. He is currently getting paid $7.35 million. This is a guy that took a bit of a discount. It was more of a bridge deal. But overall, just knowing that Pettersson has this deal and it hasn't been rejected yet is the biggest part to look at this. I mean, when you look at his stats, this guy came in at the age of 20 in 2018-19, put up 28 goals, 38 assists for 66 points. 2019-20 at the age of 21, 27 goals, 39 assists. And you see just this season where he has 58 games played, 29 goals, 44 assists for 73 points. Last year he did eclipse 100 points when he had 102 in 80 games. And when you do look at more than just the points, this is a guy that has progressively got better at hitting. You could see earlier on in his career in 71 games, he had 42 hits. Just last year, he had 74 hits in 80 games. And this season alone, he has 89 hits in 58 games. Obviously, his faceoffs haven't been outstanding. He is just below a 50% faceoff guy. Started off rough at 41% for the first 2 years. But this season, with over almost 300 or over 500 attempts, he is rocking just below a 50% faceoff win. So getting this guy in, obviously we're seeing so many reports that he doesn't care about the money. Right now his focus is on winning. That's all his priority is. You see that the Canucks have offered him a long-term deal. This is looking like roughly $12 million per year on an 8-year extension. I think it's just a matter of time when Pettersson puts the pen to paper. Maybe his camp does argue a bit and say, hey, this guy's worth 12.5, 13, especially on an 8-year deal with the cap going up slowly and slowly. A new TV deal coming in. This guy is going to get paid. He's going to stay. This guy's not going to walk as an RFA. There's no team willing to offer him a $13, $14 million contract, give up all these draft picks, and the Canucks are most certainly going to match. So what's your thoughts on this as well? Do you think Pettersson is waiting and holding out to get more money? Do you think he truly wants just to win the cup for Vancouver, sign this extension, and continue to build a dynasty? And also, what's your thoughts on Phil Kessel? Do you think he's the perfect fit for this fourth line? Would you rather just have McCabe there? Or would you rather just sign Phil as more as a mentor in the locker room heading on in the end of the season? That'll be it for this episode of Canucks Digest. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we're so close to 1,000. If we can hit that by Sunday, that'd be outstanding. While you're down there, leave a like Share this with your friends. Leave a comment. Let me know your favorite past Canucks player. Who's your favorite current player, and who do you hope the Canucks trade for at deadline? But like I said, that'll be it for this episode, and take care.